So the tank of your toilet is filling up slower than you'd like. It's not that it isn't filling up, it's just taking more time than you want it to. And while this doesn't bother you per se, it is causing trouble for some of the members of your family. There are about 3 ways to deal with this problem. The first and the simplest way is to take your toilet out of service. If, like us, you have more than one functioning facility in your home, what you do is you just shut down the one that isn't working and you start sending everybody down to the one that is working. This is very simple to do. You just put an out of order sign on your toilet and then you send everybody down to the other toilet, and I'll tell you, everyone is going to be really excited about this idea. So you just switch the water off to the one that isn't working, send everyone down to the one that is working, and there you go, problem solved. The second thing that you can do, the second solution, is you provide a pitcher that they can fill with water in the bathroom. So what they do then is you remove the tank lid and you set it aside, and then what you have is when someone needs to use the bathroom, they fill up that pitcher with water and they use the water to fill up the water tank in the back of the toilet, and then they're good to go. Then they don't have to wait, they can just fill it up on their own. A good system to use is to have someone fill the tank up after they're done so that the next person can come in and they can use the toilet and they don't have to wait. So that's another way around the issue. Now the other thing that this system is going to create is there's going to be no reason to have the lid on your tank. And so you can use your lid for other things. I know it might not look like much when it's on the back of your toilet, but it can make a great shelf. It also makes a great centerpiece for your dining room table, as long as you don't tell the people who are visiting where you got it from. The third thing that you can do is actually fix it. And this is the most difficult thing to do, so I would strongly suggest that you try to get one of the first 2 options to work. But if your significant other, or in my case, your many children, don't like that idea, you're stuck with fixing it. And so this is how that's done. So to fix this problem, we need to gain access to the tank. So we just take the lid off and we set that aside. We're not going to need that for a little bit yet. And now if you look down here, that is our water shut off. And right now our tank is full of water. And so we want to get that water out, but we don't want more water in there. So we're just going to shut it off. Just turn it. Now, you may or may not have this fixture here. You may have to turn this one. In our case, that one won't turn, so I just turn this here. Okay? So then what we're going to do is we're just going to flush our toilet. We're going to get as much water as we can out of the tank. So that's going to disappear. Okay, so we got that as drained as we can get it. Notice it didn't refill because the water has been turned off. So what we need to do is, usually the problem has to do with this fixture right here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to disconnect this piece and we're going to see if there's anything obstructing the water flow from getting in. So in order to do this, we actually have to get under here. You have to disconnect the piping right here. Now, what's going to happen when you try to do that is there is still a little bit of water in your tank. So what we need to do is we need to get something that will catch all of that water. So what we need is something that's going to absorb all the water when it falls out of the tank when we start to unscrew the hose. So what I like to do in a scenario like this is I go into my daughter's room and I just grab a stuffed animal. These are very absorbent. These are very good for catching moisture and keeping it off your floor. So we're just going to stick that under the toilet and we'll be good to go. So now you have your super absorbent item that's going to catch all the extra water, because there is still some water in the tank and it's going to fall out when you loosen the fixture. And so we need this to absorb that. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick our absorbent item right beneath the hose where we're going to loosen things off. So we're just going to stuff that in there. And that's going to catch all the extra water that comes down. Now when you go to loosen off the fixture, you might be able to do it by hand, but it might be a little tight for you. So what you want to do is you're going to want to grab an adjustable wrench, and then I've already adjusted it to the right size, so then you can simply just, you know, it can help you turn it. So what we'll do is we'll come down here, and what we want to do is we want to take this and take it off. So we're just going to loosen that off. Okay, some of our water is going to start coming out. Okay, there, that's off. And then actually underneath the toilet there, and I'll let you go in and take a look, is there's another fixture here, and that's actually holding the valve in question in place. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get that off. That's actually why I have this to kind of help me encourage it along a little bit. There we go. And we could get more water. When we take that off. And so that's coming along real nice. There we go. So now we come back up here, and because we took that off, this will now come out, which is why we had to put our absorbent thing underneath. So now this is now free, and so now we can deal with this. So we'll take this fixture out. And what this is responsible for is for letting the water flow back into your tank. So what you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to look into the bottom of this. And if you find anything in there that's blocking that, you're going to want to remove it. Now here's what you might find. You might run into something that looks like this. Okay, and that is the problem that I ran into with this toilet, was if you run into this kind of a rubber stopper, that is put in there intentionally by the manufacturer, but you do not need this. What this does, as I've come to understand, is it intentionally slows down the refilling process of your toilet so that it makes less noise and so it's nice and quiet. So you can function with it as long as this isn't creating any traffic problems. But if you're in a family like mine and we have lots of people to service and they don't want to wait 10 minutes for the toilet to refill, remove this and you're going to find that it fills up much faster. So for me, this was the problem, but if you have other blockages in here, then that's what you'll need to remove. Grab some pliers, get it out of there. You should be able to see down into that clearly without anything blocking the hole at the bottom. That's pretty much how you know. So then we just put it back in and we give it a shot. So put it back in. We just stick that back in there, back in its hole. This will go, the clip will go right back on the side. That's the hose. If some water comes out, that might be a little floppy, but we'll tighten that up down there in a minute. We just go underneath. And you're going to want to tighten this up real good because it needs to be watertight. So just because it's tight enough that your hands can't move it doesn't mean it's tight enough. The only way you're actually going to know is when you go to flush your toilet again. If it starts dripping, it's not tight enough. But if you over tighten it, you'll break it. So you don't want to do that either. We just reconnect our hose. Get that straight. And then, when I turn the water supply back on, it'll immediately start filling up the tank. So I turn the water supply back on. And if you come take a look, it's filling up from the bottom, and there's water spraying out of the hose right there. And then this will fill up very quickly. We just return the lid, and then we're done. You look like a hero. Everybody's happy. People don't have to go down to the other bathroom. The lineup moves faster and traffic keeps moving in every meaning of the word. So, like and subscribe. Hopefully that was helpful, and we'll see you next week. Hey, thanks for watching. Hopefully that works out for you. Now that you've made it this far, I'm going to tell you about a website run by someone I know, called FiveMinutePear.com. Head over to FiveMinutePear.com, check out their website, check out their YouTube channel. Links are in the description below. You'll find webcomics, videos, games. It's well worth your time. Specifically, I tell you about it because they've recently launched a new part of the website with a series called Ask Alaythia that features animated versions of a couple people that you'll recognize from this channel. So anyway, I highly recommend it. You should definitely go check it out. Run by a really good guy.
Yay!
Hopefully all the tips that you saw in this video work out for you. And we'll see you soon. Green circle's right there. Extra videos are right there. See you next time.